The Middle East always seems to be shifting. But lately, there's been a lot happening, a major military operation, the fallout from that, and some really, really bold political ideas being floated.
Yeah, it feels like we might be at some kind of turning point.
Exactly. So today we're going to try and unpack that. We've looked at a whole range of information to get a sense of what's really going on and what it might mean down the line.
It's definitely a complex picture. You got the military side, the political maneuvering, the humanitarian angle. They're all tangled together.
Very tangled.
Yeah.
And understanding it means looking at, well, the huge stakes involved and how different people are seeing these events, right?
Absolutely. Lots of different perspectives on the potential impact. That's what we'll try to unravel for you.
Okay, so let's kick things off with the operation itself. Operation Rising Lion. Happened about 2 weeks ago. Israel targeting Iran's military and, crucially, its nuclear program.
Right.
And the immediate talk was all about success, that this could really shake things up in the Middle East. What's behind that strong perception?
Well, you have figures like Prime Minister Netanyahu and also former President Trump really framing this 12-day operation as a major win.
A decisive victory? Is that the term they're using?
Pretty much. They argue it's significantly humbled Iran, and they believe this creates a kind of unprecedented chance
A chance to do what exactly?
to finally end the war in Gaza and also to massively expand the Abraham Accords, basically fundamentally shifting the power balance in the region.
Okay, so that perceived shift is fueling these diplomatic moves.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the peace plan that's apparently on the table. It sounds ambitious.
Oh, it's incredibly ambitious. The core idea is stopping the Gaza war in just 2 weeks.
2 weeks? Wow.
Yeah, Israel ends its campaign. In return, Hamas releases the 50 remaining hostages.
And the really big ask.
The really big ass, Hamas leaders go into exile. Just leave Gaza.
And then what happens in Gaza?
Then the plan is for 4 Arab nations to govern it jointly. Netanyahu's really pushing this, calling it a window of opportunity that must not be missed.
It sounds like a potential game changer. But, I mean, the roadblocks must be huge. What are the biggest ones? Is it just Hamas saying no?
That's definitely one major hurdle. Hamas leaders are digging in their heels, refusing to leave Gaza. It's ideological for them, partly, and also about leverage.
Right. But you mentioned other roadblocks.
Yes, the other key issue is the insistence from several important Arab countries that the Palestinian Authority needs to have a role in governing Gaza after Hamas.
And Israel's position on that.
Still a hard no. Israel consistently refuses any PA involvement. So you see these fundamental disagreements about who has legitimacy, who governs next. It's a massive sticking point.
Okay, let's switch gears a bit. The impact on Iran's nuclear program. After the operation, U.S. senators got a classified briefing.
That's right.
But the takeaways seem all over the place. Some senators are saying it's maybe just a few months setback. Others are calling it a major league setback, potentially years. How do we make sense of that? What does it practically mean?
Well, it really highlights how different sides spin the narrative, you know? What we do know, factually, is the IAEA, the International Atomic Energy Agency, confirmed that centrifuges at Fordo.
That's the deep underground facility.
It's exactly, deep underground. Those uranium-enriching centrifuges are no longer operational, and generally, officials seem to agree there was very, very, very considerable damage. That points to a real hit.
Okay, so significant damage is confirmed. But then,
On the flip side, you have Iran's supreme leader publicly saying, basically, nothing to see here, claiming Israel failed to do anything significant,
and declaring victory in Gaza at the same time.
declaring a huge victory over Israel in Gaza. So, yeah, these completely opposing views make it really tough for anyone outside to get an objective assessment. It's all about controlling the story.
Amidst all this, there are humanitarian efforts, too.
Yeah.
The U.S. State Department put $30 million into the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation.
Yes, that's the U.S. and Israeli-backed one.
And it apparently has a good track record, distributing millions of meals, like 46 million, while stopping Hamas from taking the supplies.
And that's critical, not just for the immediate aid, obviously, but it's also about laying groundwork for, well, whatever comes next. Stability, future governance. It's one of the few areas with some cooperation, actually.
Interesting. And linked to all this, you mentioned Iran's internal situation, reports suggesting they're feeling weakened and shaken.
Yes, that's the characterization in some reports.
What makes people say that? What are the signs we're seeing?
Well, there are some pretty disturbing reports about executions inside Iran. People accused of spying for Israel. Apparently 3 during the actual conflict, and then another 3 after the ceasefire.
Executions. Wow.
Yeah. And alongside that, potentially up to 700 arrests. Human rights groups are raising alarms about forced confessions, too.
So it suggests an internal crackdown, maybe trying to tighten control because they feel vulnerable.
That's certainly one interpretation. Consolidating power, projecting strength internally when feeling pressured externally.
Okay, so we've got this major military operation, these incredibly bold, peaceful